on a sunny and muggy Tuesday afternoon in Northeast Ohio. Welcome, everybody, into the bullpen. It's Bull and Fox with you on this Tuesday. Dustin, how you doing? I'm surprised you don't have a Chase Bank logo on your Buckeye hat.
No Chase Bank logo on the Buckeye hat today, even though the Buckeyes will have a Chase Bank logo on their jerseys in the fall. As will every other sports team at Ohio State, as Chase is, I guess, their new sponsor of Ohio State athletics.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is really crazy to see that, but I guess it's not. I mean, it's just the way of the world these days in sports. That's the way it's gone.
Pretty much.
Good start to the day for the Guardians. They're playing a doubleheader in Cincinnati. And in the top of the first inning, Jose Ramirez had a one-out single, then Chase DeLauder hit a ground ball that could have been a double play, should have been at least one out, but it was an error by the Red second baseman. Then Travis Bazzana walked. So instead of the inning being over, or maybe a runner on first or a runner on second with two outs, Bazzana walks, then Rocchio flies out, so that would have been the end of the inning, even if it wasn't a double play. But then Kyle Manzardo, who's obviously been in just a horrific stretch. He was awful in April. He was great in May and June. He's been awful in July. But Kyle Manzardo just hit a grand slam, his 12th homer of the year, and the Guardians take a 4-0 lead against Chase Burns. They're all unearned runs, but they count against the young phenom Chase Burns in the top of the first. So the Reds batting bottom one against Slade Ciccone. There you go. You never know. Dustin asked me if I like the Guardians today.
Well,
I said
I asked you last night if you liked the Guardians in this matchup. You said no.
No, today, I didn't. By the time I saw you text, it had been rained out.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
You're right. You said it was rained out. But today I asked you before during UCSS, and you said you did not like the Guardians today.
Well, I said I liked them in game 2.
Okay. Well.
But, you know what? Listen, the pitching matchup in this game was heavily in favor of Cincinnati. I'm sure the Reds were a decent favorite in this game, were they not?
Yeah, minus 170.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It's a long way to go. Game's not over yet, but a nice start for the Guardians there.
Nice start to the Gardos.
Yeah, and in the second game of the doubleheader, what is the pitching matchup for the second game? I don't remember. Second game of the doubleheader will be, and that game will be at 7 tonight, 7:10. It'll be Gavin Williams, and it's TBD for the Reds. So we'll see. And then they'll play at 7:10 tomorrow also. And then the Guardians get their first day off since the All-Star break. And they'll come home 3 against Arizona and 3 against the Mets with a day off in between there. So that's the latest for the Guardians. So there you go. Training camp getting underway. Today's the day. The Browns are reporting. We had video on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show of guys that we weren't sure exactly who all of them were. It did look like a stalker, as I think you mentioned earlier today.
I felt like I was a peeping Tom.
Yeah, peeping Tom
watching this video.
Yeah. But Browns reporting to camp today, and the first practice will be tomorrow. Any memories that pop into your mind, either as a player or for you and I going to training camp so many years?
I mean, for the Browns, or
either
for my
whatever
for
your playing days or your media days. You know,
I mean, I remember going to my first training camp in Minnesota, which was back in 2005. I remember going to, I remember all my training camps, but I remember like the first day you arrive, you're just like really nervous. And it's just like you're almost like reporting to like boot camp in some ways, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's one of those deals where, I don't know, you know what you're in for. You've been through it before, but and you know you're going to do it and you have to do it, but you don't want to do it. It's painful. It's anxiety, emotions. And again, every time I went to training camp, I never had a roster spot like locked up.
Right.
So it was sort of
your
of
first
anxiety.
year, you probably thought you had it locked up. I know you ended up getting hurt, but I mean, you were a high enough draft pick that you were going to make the team.
Yeah,
first year.
Maybe so. My first year was probably the least amount of stress I had because I just bought a house. I had a nice signing bonus. Like I knew I was going to be there.
Yeah.
At least for that season. Like I wasn't going to get cut as a rookie 3rd round pick.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But no, every other time in Philadelphia was hell going to camp at Lehigh. In Buffalo, I went to 2 camps with them. And never made it out of camp as a roster on the roster. I always got signed after the fact, like signed back to the team. So
yeah,
a lot of anxiety, man, for sure.
It's it's got to be so hard in that situation. It continues to be, and there's more spots now because the practice squad's bigger than it was when you played. But still, that's a level of stress that I think as fans we don't really realize that there's so many players, and it's not just football, but we're focused on football right now, but there's so many players vying for so few spots, and there's so many guys. When you talk about the back end of the roster especially, like there's probably, for every one guy that makes the team, there's probably 10 other guys, if not more, that are just as good, or for whatever reason, that guy gets the call.
100%. 100%. I mean, it's opportunity. It's, are you the coach's favorite? Are you making more money? Were you a draft pick? Like, there's just a lot of factors that go into it. That it's not always the talent that makes the team or gets on the field for that matter, because there's a lot of factors that certainly go into it that shouldn't be, but when it's a business, that's how it goes.
With your first training camp with Minnesota, did you had a roommate?
I did.
Who was your roommate?
Oh, gosh.
Forgot his name, huh? Was it a fellow rookie?
No. Hold on. I have to look it up.
They put a rookie with a veteran, huh?
Hold on. Wait a second.
I mean, that was a long time ago. I don't blame you.
My second-year roommate. Who was my first-year roommate in Minnesota?
So who was your second-year roommate? Somebody we heard of or no?
Yes, hold on.
That's when you're getting old, when you can't remember your roommates. But that was a long time ago, and we're talking 20 years.
Roniel Whitaker.
That was your first-year roommate?
My second year.
Oh, second year. How did you remember that all of a sudden?
Because I remember where he played in college.
Oh.
And I Googled it.
That's funny.
Yeah, Roniel Whitaker, defensive back. He was. I remember he was my second-year guy because I remember Mike Tomlin had him in Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
and he was the nickel in Tampa Bay for them. Him and Will Allen were the nickels, and then Tomlin brought him to Minnesota to be the nickel, and he was my roommate and essentially sort of like replaced me.
Oh, wow!
So it kind of sucked, but anyway, yeah. So I was like rooming with my competition.
That's got to be awkward,
for sure.
Man,
we got along though. He was a good guy.
Yeah. So now, obviously, there's guys on every team in the league going through the same things. Obviously, if you have a roster spot locked up, it's a completely different story. If you're a starting quarterback, if you're well paid, obviously it's a different experience for everybody. But I got to imagine, like, it doesn't matter. There's got to be at least some level of stress. Like even Myles Garrett, well paid, certainly not getting cut. He's with a new team. Like there's probably some level of stress. Maybe I'm crazy.
Well, there's anxiety just with new people. I mean, come on. You've never been to like, I don't know, just think about going to a function where you got to talk to people that are strangers.
Yeah.
Let alone being on a team with new guys, and then you're expected like to be the leader. Like there are expectations, there's anxiety, there's nerves that go into it. Yeah, for sure.
I wonder how nervous Todd Monken is. I mean, I know he's been a coach forever, but he's never been a head coach.
I mean, I'd be nervous.
Right? Like your first time tomorrow, well, whether it's tonight or tomorrow morning, like addressing the entire squad, 100+ players, assistant coaches, staff, all that. You've been waiting. He's been obviously waiting his whole life to be a head coach, and now he gets his first opportunity. Anyway, there's more to it than stress. But I just think, in the end, that I'm as guilty of this as anybody. Sometimes we forget that players are human beings and coaches do.
Right.
And, everybody's going through real-life stresses like the rest of us do in our everyday lives. But it's also an exciting time because it's an opportunity to see what you did this offseason, and it's an opportunity to see, to some degree, I don't know how much we get to see it in the public, but how much guys have improved. This is where you start seeing it. In the mini camps, it's nothing with nothing, but now you're actually in the, everybody's there. Nobody's not showing up. I guess there's a few guys. By the way, there is every single draft pick signed before training camp.
Yeah, I saw your text yesterday. Is it the first time ever?
I don't know if it's the first time ever. This has got
to be the soonest that every single draft pick has been signed.
I would think. If it's not the soonest, it's right. Got to be close to it, because usually there's at least a couple of guys that are unsigned for one reason, the language in the contract. I know we see less holdouts these days because the money's kind of slotted, so it's not like the old days where we'd see crazy holdouts. We don't see that anymore. But sometimes there's, holdouts into training camp because of the offset language or, how much of the bonus they get right away, these things, but not in this case. Every single drafted player is signed. Every team is starting training camp. Some teams have already started. The teams that are playing in the Hall of Fame game already have started. And now everybody else starting today, tomorrow, would think by Thursday, everybody's going to be officially in camp. And besides quarterback, as we head into training camp, are there any players in particular that you got an eye on, that you're kind of curious to see what they look like?
Oh, man, that's a good question. I have to look back at this year's draft class just to see some of these guys.
Yeah. Well,
what about you?
Speaking of the draft class, I've got my eyes on the wide receivers. Boston and Concepcion. The Browns have spent high draft capital on not one, but two wide receivers. They're both drafted in the top 40. The Browns have not spent very many top 40 picks on wide receivers. They've almost never done that in the entire time you and I, this is going to be the 16th season you and I have covered the Browns, and they have almost never spent high draft capital on wide receivers. They've spent a lot of middle and late draft capital, and mostly it's been a waste. But they've spent very little high draft capital on wide receivers, and this year they've not only done it once but twice. They both showed, positive signs in OTAs and mini camps. That doesn't mean that much, but it's better than the alternative that they don't show good signs. And I'm excited to see how they look and how they fit in. And, because the Browns wide receiving room has been such garbage for so long. And, you like those. I'm excited about those two guys. I think Harold Fannin has a ton of potential, as we talked about on UCSS today. And I think Isaiah Bond showed some promise last year. Throw in Jerry Jeudy, who's, had a bad season, but he's had some success in this league. And that's more pass catchers that are intriguing, at least, if nothing else, than the Browns have had in a long time. So that's kind of where I've got my eye.
There is one player that it's funny, I'm intrigued. You said to not mention quarterbacks, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Okay.
Taylon Green, I want to see.
All right, that's fine. Because when I said no quarterbacks, I meant the top two. Yeah.
Quarterback. But he's on my radar because he's just a freak athlete.
Yeah.
And has so much talent, but is just so raw that I think that when you see him in person in camp, you're going to be like, whoa. Because he's kind of like has Terrell Pryor's size, and that guy commands a room.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you think there's any chance they'll use him as a gadget type player this year? Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So you can see him being active.
The roster, yeah, for sure. Why would you not?
Yeah, it's fascinating to see what they do, because I think this, if they decide to keep all four quarterbacks or maybe try to put Taylon Green on the practice squad, I know there was some concern that somebody would claim him, but is somebody going to claim him and put him on an active roster when he's been at training camp with the Browns? I don't know. He was a late pick. It wasn't like he was a third-round pick or something. So they could possibly get him on the practice squad, but if they do want to use him in that way, then you're going to have to keep him on the active roster.
Unless another team wants to sign him to their practice squad too and want to pay him more money.
Well, that's true. That's a possibility. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
but he may want to stay in Cleveland because he knows the system, and also let's be honest, the quarterback room is not decided.
No,
far from it. By the way,
right. And he's the fourth quarterback right now, I assume, and they could move on from one of the other three possibly, or somebody could get hurt. I mean, we got a long way to go before the season starts. It feels like football's here, but they're not playing real games for what? I mean, like 6-7 weeks. So
like real games, yeah,
So it's going to be a while. Although we do have the first preseason game in 9 days. I think it's next Thursday.
Yep,
is the Hall of Fame game. I can't remember if you said you're going or not.
I don't know. I mean, I don't have tickets right now, but they're not hard to get tickets. I mean, you can buy tickets if you want to go. It depends. Like my son wants to go.
Okay.
If he wants to go, I'll take him.
Are you going to a Bills game this year?
I have season tickets, dude.
Oh yeah, that's true. So you're
going to go every game.
So I've had plans to go. It's crazy. Obviously, I haven't been to a Bengals game in Cincinnati. I've had tickets 2 of the last 3 years, and both times Joe Burrow got hurt. So I was like, well, I don't want to go if Joe Burrow's hurt. So we sold the tickets. So I'm planning on going. I don't have tickets yet, and this time I'm waiting to make sure he's healthy. But I think Aaron and I are going to go, I want to say the first Sunday in October, because it works out perfectly because the Browns play Thursday night that week.
Nice.
So there's no Browns game on that Sunday.
Who do they play that week?
I think it's Jacksonville. Let me just double check that. That's the plan right now. Yeah, they play Jacksonville October the 4th at home. In fact, the Bengals only have 2 home games before November, which is crazy. They got 2 home games, 4 road games, and a bye between, the start of the season.
September and October, there's only 2 home games?
Yeah. 2 home, 4 road, and a bye. And the season starts as late as it can because Labor Day is late this year, so the season doesn't start until September 13th or the first Sunday, at least, the September 13th. So, yeah, they got 4 of their first 6 on the road. But obviously after that, they play 3 straight home games in November and 4 out of 5. In fact, the Bengals, after that, all on the road, from November 1st through December 13th, they play 7 games, and only 1 time do they leave Ohio. 5 home games at Cleveland, at Washington, in that 7-game stretch after the weird start.
That's kind of a weird schedule.
It is. Very bizarre start to their season. So, anyway, so I think we'll finally go to Cincinnati this year. I'm actually planning to make 2 trips to Cincinnati because the Cubs are playing in Cincinnati in earlier in September. So I think I'm going to go to like a Friday, Saturday game there, and then we'll go back for the Bengals. Speaking of trips, I'm planning on going to Arizona, which I haven't been in a while since we went for spring training.
For what in Arizona?
Just on winter vacation.
You gonna do like Sedona? It's
funny did I mention that to you?
No.
That's so funny that you said that because that's where we're going. I mean, we haven't booked it yet, but have you been to Sedona?
No, but I mean, I have a friend who was just there.
Yeah. Supposedly it's amazing. We'll fly into Phoenix, but we're gonna spend some time in Sedona. I heard Sedona's amazing. We're gonna go in late February, in the middle of the winter. Just get some warm weather time and
nice.
Anyway, all right. Let's talk about the Cavaliers to wrap things up. Obviously, we talked a lot about LeBron, leading up to this, and leading up to him signing. We haven't been on since he signed with Philadelphia. We talked today about the comments that were made by Brian Windhorst on part of the reason he didn't come to Cleveland. Do you blame Kobe Altman for LeBron not being here, or no?
Do I blame Kobe Altman? No, I don't blame Kobe Altman. I mean, listen, there's only so much that we could do with the roster, and I mean, number one,
yeah.
Would you have traded Evan Mobley away?
If you would have asked me, yes, I would have traded him for Giannis. I don't know if that was realistic, though, because Giannis didn't want to play here. Before Jaylen Brown got traded, I would have said, definitely I'll trade Mobley for Jaylen Brown. But then when the Celtics gave up Jaylen Brown for very little, I understand not trading Mobley in that case because nobody gave up anything of significance to get Brown. So in the end, I wanted Brown, yes, but I understand why the Cavs didn't trade Mobley. How about you? How do you feel about that?
I mean, I like Mobley. I think that he's essential for this team to have success. Like, I wouldn't have traded him to help facilitate LeBron.
Right.
I would have certainly traded Jared Allen, or anything else.
Sure.
But no, it's hard to blame Kobe Altman for this, because obviously the Sixers had the ability to put together the best roster possible for LeBron to want to go to. And like LeBron's 41. You can't cater to a guy that might be a 1-year rental just so we can have our feelings feel good for a year.
Right.
I mean, even if you got LeBron, it didn't guarantee the success that we had back in 2016.
Of course.
Yeah,
no, of course. I mean, he's a different player. He's still very good, but he's not the best anymore. And so, so the Cavs, unfortunately, though, the Cavs are now in this weird spot where they're probably not good enough to even get to, I don't even know if they're good enough to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. I know they did last year, but obviously Philadelphia is better. Indiana will be better this year. Toronto will be better this year. Miami will be better this year. And obviously the Knicks are the defending champs. So it's a much more crowded field than it's looked the last couple of years. What do you think the best case and worst case scenario is for the Cavs? Like right now, without them making any other moves, and I don't know if they can make anything of significance. But what do you think is the best and worst case scenario for the Cavs in the 26-27 season?
I think best case is they go to the NBA Finals.
You think that's realistic? That's a realistic best case?
Absolutely.
Okay. I like it. I like the optimism.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, they were close last year.
They were.
The East got tougher, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But
yes.
Are we really going to freak out about, did LeBron make the difference, or is it Jaylen Brown?
Well, I mean, Jaylen Brown's a better player than LeBron now.
That's what I'm saying.
But it's they got both of them without giving up anybody of significance. Listen,
their roster is great. They still have to get Joel Embiid to the finish line.
Right. They haven't won anything. You're right.
No.
They got a ton to prove. That's 100% accurate, and that's fair. I just can't. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope you're right, but I just can't see a realistic case of them getting to the finals. I'll say my best case scenario for them realistically is getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, and I think even that's a stretch, but hopefully I'm wrong about that. I think the worst case is they're a play-in team. I think it's possible they're a play-in team, especially
worst case. I don't think. I think they're like a 4 or 5 seed.
Okay,
case.
I could see them being a play-in team if these two things happen. If Mobley does not improve at all, he's the same player because they need him to be even better. And you talked about on UCSS today him becoming a 22, 23 point a game scorer. If he's the same guy he was last year, very good player, but not any better, then. And if James Harden, say, completely goes off the cliff where he's no longer even an all-star at all and he's just like a guy, I could see them being a play-in team in that situation because if the combination of those two things happen with the East being significantly better, I could see it. I think you're probably right. I think the most realistic scenario for the Cavs is they're somewhere between the 4 and 6 seed in the East, somewhere in that that mid-tier of teams. Where, they got a decent shot of winning in the first round, a chance to win in the second round, and then, who knows. But it's going to be hard to get as excited for the start of the season.
No doubt.
Without LeBron in the mix. So, another update on the Guardians. They are still up 4-0, game in the bottom of the second. Slade Ciccone has pitched 2 shutout innings so far. He's given up 1 hit, or 1 1/3. 1 hit, 1 walk. The Reds have 1 on and 1 out in the bottom half of the second inning. Remember, second game coming up at 7:10. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today. We'll be back live on Thursday. I'm going to have Ryan Leaf with me on Friday's show as well. Dustin, are you done with UCSS for the rest of the week?
I am.
Okay. Well, I'll see you Thursday. Where else? But right here in the bullpen with Bull and Fox. See you, everybody.
See ya.